everyone, I am Mecha Random 42, your favorite YouTube harpy. We're reviewing Star Trek Discovery episode, I don't remember, but it's called The Red Angel. It's the one that aired on the 21st of March, 2019. Oh, where do we start? They're just not trying anymore. They're just not trying. They just don't have any idea what they're doing. You know, I'll give you the quick spoiler-free part, and then I will give you the highlights, I guess, or the main highlight of the live stream last night where we watched this live and reacted to it, and basically live riff it. So, you know, a trigger warning. If you are a big fan of Discovery, I'm tired of it. It's not good Star Trek. It's not a good TV show. I'm kind of watching it out of loyalty to finish something that I started, because it's Star Trek, and I'd love to be able to tell you guys how to fix it. You know, tell Discovery what you do to fix it. What you do to fix it. Get rid of Michael Burnham. They almost managed to do that. Just start focusing on basic, simple storylines that people can relate to. Just take the episode of The Orville. It was a simple love story that was set in the universe of The Orville. Very simple thing, well developed, well written, well acted, well directed, and very easy for anybody to wrap their mind around. You don't need to be a sci-fi fan for that. Discovery doesn't do that. Discovery has the most shoehorned in romances, relationships, friendships, sibling interactions. I mean, the way that Spock treats Michael Burnham in this, I can kind of understand if she killed his hamster or something with a sledgehammer when he was a kid in front of him. They wouldn't have this weird reaction otherwise. Or maybe if they had slept together. They have a very bitter sort of relationship, and it's kind of odd. It is very, very odd to see. The other thing about this episode is like the human, just the way people speak to each other is so, like, sometimes their character will be one way, sometimes their character will be another way. There's a character from the Mirror Universe, basically Space Hitler, Empress Mirror Universe Philippa Georgiou. She has this line in this episode that would have been from the main universe counterpart, not the evil one, you know? God, we find out so many reveals. We find out who the Red Angel is. I'll get into that when we get into spoilers. This is... I don't... What are you doing, Star Trek? What are you doing? What is your problem? What is wrong with you? When the guy from Family Guy, who wrote the jokes where they're basically puking all over each other, is doing better Star Trek than you, we have a problem with Star Trek. This episode is very boring and long and confusing, and it goes into crazy territory to hysterically bad, unintentionally hilarious. I was laughing my ass off. I'm going to show you guys my reaction in a little bit here. I didn't want to put that in the spoiler section, or the spoiler-free section. I wanted to wait until we got into spoilers. So spoiler-free, I almost want to give this a 10 out of 10 for making me laugh so hard. But then the rest of the episode is like a 0 out of 10 because it was just so cringe. So I guess I have to balance it out right in the smack dab middle at a 5. What are you doing, Star Trek? I mean, and like I said, the characters don't make sense. They try and shoehorn in emotions and character development and things wrong. They're just doing it so wrong. In the last episode, they had the character that died, Ariam. They started off this episode with her funeral. We don't care. Who cares about this character? You didn't make me care about this character. I cared more about the little, like, the girl in the cell phone that Gordon falls in love with based on her cell phone data and memories and records and videos and everything. I care more about that woman than I do a character that I've seen on every episode, I think, of Star Trek Discovery for the last 2 years. I think we've seen her. I don't know. I can't even remember if she's been on every episode. Apparently, once the one when the makeup died, or once they killed off, how do I word that? Once they killed off the version of Ariam that they had now, they brought back the original actress who played Ariam. They changed out actresses for that character, I think, sometime last season. Nobody noticed because it's basically a glorified extra. It's a background character. It's so ridiculous. And they brought back the original actress now to replace her in this kind of really awkward cringe moment. And this is all spoilers from last week, so yeah, about 5 out of 10 just because it's so ridiculously bad. And now we'll get into the full spoiler part of the review. Ariam, like I said, they're having Ariam's funeral. We find out that she has like a human brain, but then the cybernetic body. That I was curious about. How is that legal in the Federation at this point in time? What were their precautions? How do they classify her as a person still? That she has to like upload her memories. They call it downloading, but she has to upload her memories into the computer every week and figure out which things she wants to keep and not. Because I guess her brain doesn't even work anymore. She's basically a vegetable. So is she even human anymore? Or is she just basically a computer program that is programmed to... There's so many questions. Like, is she programmed to emulate human thought? They don't touch any of that. It's just like, nope, she got taken over by this control computer and now she's dead. And even though they already showed last season that they could beam Ash out of... they beamed him into space for a punishment in the Mirror Universe, Ash Tyler. They immediately grabbed him in Discovery because they can transport people who got beamed out into space. Why couldn't they do her? She basically got shoved out an airlock because she was trying to kill everybody in the last episode. That's all last episode stuff, but like I said, you have to kind of tie all of these episodes together because they're one overarching storyline, right? So we have the funeral for this character, and then there's just a whole bunch of senseless dialogue. I guess they're trying to trap the Red Angel for some reason. I don't know. They scan his DNA, they discover it's Michael Burnham. So immediately Michael Burnham has to go and ask, okay, so I need to know everything that's going on, being the worst possible fucking character ever. So apparently this angel is time traveling. If it's supposed to be her time traveling, that's the last thing. That is the absolute last thing you would do. You would say, hey, I can't know anything that's going on. If you're trying to trap a future version of me that can time travel, I cannot know any of this. But of course, she's Michael Burnham, so she has to make the worst decision ever. Then we find out that Section 31 actually knew about her parents' death, hid it from her, making their entire chase to find Spock pointless. Absolutely pointless, because they're like, what's the Red Angel? What's that do? Oh, they already know. But they're chasing Spock to find the fucking thing, I guess, now. And now that we have Spock, Section 31 just fucked off for a little while. Now they're back. They're like... it's so stupid. And like I said, the character Mirror Emperor Giorgio, Michael Burnham has a scene with her where she's saying, okay, you knew about my parents being part of Section 31. You knew this. So we find out now this time Klingon spies killed Michael Burnham's parents because they were developing the Red Angel technology to create wormholes, to create stable wormholes to time travel with this spacesuit thing, right? So let's there's a lot to compress here. I'm going to come back to the wormholes in a second. Michael Burnham, right, asks Emperor Giorgio, or Mirror Universe, who now works for Section 31, why didn't you tell me that my parents were killed? Why didn't you tell me that my parents built the Red Angel suit? Why didn't you tell me they were involved with Section 31? Oh, it's not my story to tell, she says. She responds. Which is stupid, because she's a mustache-twirling villain. She is so over the top and overwritten. This is the one time she really could have gotten away with it. She could have given Michael Burnham a smile and said, well, where's the fun in that? She could have given her a little evil grin. She could have done any of that. She could have said, oh, well, because I wanted you to be mad at Leland. I wanted you to punch his lights out. I wanted you to find out. And I wanted to bother you. I wanted to torture you. But no, she doesn't, because she's not as evil as they've written her to be. Or maybe that's their way of showing character development in the weirdest way possible. I don't know. It's so stupid. So we're getting into the good part of the show, but that's all. That's a lot of the bad stuff. Oh, and there's another part. I have this line. I gotta pull up the line. I have it written down. It's so cringe. There's a scene where Stamets and Mira Giorgio and Tilly are kind of talking about something about figuring out a way to trap the Red Angel. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. She comes in and she's talking to them, and she's like, "Oh, my Stamets was much less neurotic. You need medication," and blah 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 blah. Dr. Culber comes in. He's looking for Admiral Cornhole or whatever the hell her name is. Cornwall. I don't care. And she's she's like, "Oh, there's a lot of tension here." She's noticing, like, her body language is saying, "Oh, there's tension here," right? Her body language, she didn't say it. So Tilly's trying to break the tension by blabbing, and then of course Mira Giorgio, she's like, "Stop talking, Tilly. Who raised you?" My mother mostly, blah blah blah. Okay, seriously, Tilly, shut up. And then she goes on into this whole thing about, Stamets. Stamets, you were so much more fun in my universe because we were banging, blah 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 blah. Dr. Culver's like, he's gay, right? And then the Stamets is like, yeah, and there's no version of me that's not gay. I'm gay in every universe, blah blah blah. It's kind of hilarious. She has the worst, cringiest line, right? She says, he was pansexual and we had DEF CON level fun. Okay, first off, pansexual is just, it's a trigger word because of, Lando Calrissian, what the whole drama went about with Lando last year with the Solo Star Wars story movie. And if you guys don't know, there was a big to-do about Lando Calrissian suddenly wanting to bang his robot, and they're throwing around the buzzword pansexual because that's one of the little gender identity politics sort of buzzwords that get thrown around all the time, right? It was just so cringe, right? So Mirror Universe Giorgio, who we know from episode 12 or 11 of season 1, I can't remember which one, she has sex with her clothes on because she had a three-way with a couple of Orions, a man and a woman. So we know Giorgio's a big old slut bag, just banging everybody, apparently. Probably banging Michael Burnham, too. That's probably less surprising, her banging the woman she adopted as a daughter, than her banging basically Stamets and Dr. Culber. It was just kind of cringe. It was just a very cringe moment. And it I don't know what the purpose of that was other than to make me cringe. So that was one of the weird moments of this show. The other one was kind of hilarious. They basically decide that Spock has, or that Michael Burnham, Mikey Spock, his sister, has to basically die. She has to kind of sacrifice herself to lure the Red Angel, who's herself, they believe, at this point still. And they basically have to strap her to an electric chair looking thing on this planet that has like a toxic atmosphere. I didn't really realize that the planet had a toxic atmosphere the first time I watched this. I did go back and rewatch it this afternoon. Don't ask me why. It's mostly because we had the Midnight's Edge podcast, the Midnight's Edge After Dark podcast. Go check that out, where we do talk about this more in depth. And it's... It was so hilariously bad and cringe. I just don't have words for it. They basically do the thing where they kind of rip off The Abyss and Total Recall, where they're like, "Oh yeah, kill me and then just bring me back," because they have Dr. Culber there to bring her back. Spock is like nasty to her. Spock gets a few good insults on here, but yeah. So they strap her into this chair and they're like, "No, we gotta let her die." And even Spock, there's even a part where, they're like, "Oh no, we can't let her die. We have to kill her, and we have to save her. We can't let her die in that chair, and she's suffocating in the most horrendously hysterical way possible." And they're like, "No, Spock won't let us. He's holding us hostage." So Spock wants her to die, and he's kind of amazing. This is why I have such mixed emotions, because we're supposed to care about this character, and they are trying to set up Spock to be the bad guy. They're trying to make Spock unlikable for all the people who love Michael Burnham and think the sun shines out of her asshole, right? It's so It's so crazy. It's like, are you trying to make people hate Spock? Because you're making me love this version of him because he wants to torture his sister because she's kind of a terrible person. Here, let me just bring up my reaction. I don't have words for this other than what my reaction was. So here we go. We're gonna pull this up. You get a live. I will link my entire live stream in the video below. But this is what I thought of it. So hopefully the audio is gonna be okay. I didn't edit it. I'm just gonna play it right from YouTube here for you guys. Give her the chair. Are they killing off Burnham? No.
Ready. Shutting down life support.
Actually, they are killing her.
Starting timer now.
That's right, they are killing her.
2 minutes and counting.
Oh, we're gonna have to watch her death on screen here. Oh shit, they're just gonna suffocate her. They are gonna kill her. She died for our sins. Oh, how sweet. How wonderful of her. She's not the Messiah. She's a very naughty boy. Because she has a boy's name. I'm enjoying this too much. I'm sorry we have to watch this. She's like a fish. Oh god, and they're just watching her.
If it drops below 40, she won't make it. And Centilly, attacking that thing.
Sorry, sir. No
Listen to her gasping. Is it called an orgasm? Die already. Oh my god, this is great. She starts.
It's over. We're coming to get you, my car.
She's saying something.
I know she would be really dead. This is great.
That means that she is the variance.
This is better than she ate the death gobstopper. Can you imagine the murder boner Doomcock would have? Funny enough, I could.
Yes, Doctor. That is the idea.
She's gonna die. That's the idea. Look at her. She's like a fucking fish flopping around.
Stable on my end too. No sign of sweating.
Oh my god, this is great.
Your call.
Is she dead yet?
This operation is over. Wait till
It
you get her out of there.
takes so long to die.
Sir, Lieutenant Spock is holding us hostage. Says we have to let her die.
Spock, stand down.
I'm sorry, Captain, I cannot.
Spock, stand down. That's an order.
Spock wants her to die. This is great. She's dead, she's dead, she's dead. She's dead, she's dead, she's dead. Yeah, so that was my reaction last night. We even watched it twice. We watched it twice. It was so hilarious. I'm sure they didn't intend that. They let her die for like 4 minutes straight instead of in the most horrendous way possible. Instead of, just setting her there and just injecting her something. That's how stupid this show is. That's how stupid the people on the show are. And it is so unintentionally hilarious at times. Like, I have no words, but please, if you guys do want to check out that, I just wanted to show that little clip. I don't know how well the audio is going to come out of that because, I didn't want to just download the entire thing for those 4 minutes, and I wanted to show what you guys were saying because we have a lot of fun doing these kind of live riffings, and we watched Stargate afterwards, so it was all good. Oh god, this episode was so cringe. So, to get to the end of the episode, the Red Angel comes, they have the giant tractor beam there. Oh, and before we reveal who the Red Angel is, there is a couple of little things I do have to talk about. They're trying to they figured out a way to hold a stable wormhole open. No, you can't do that. Did you not? Do you not know that Deep Space Nine is floating right next to a wormhole that kind of comes and goes, and it doesn't just. So that's one thing. They're trying to like reinvent how wormholes work. The other thing is that they basically are talking about needing a lot of deuterium in this episode. One of the sciencey things that they're trying to talk about on how to. And on one of the things they're trying to do is basically build enough power or build enough stuff, enough power, energy, whatever they're trying to do, that you would need like 6 warp cores worth of power to do. And I tuned out half of this. I just remember having that discussion with somebody who watched this. And yeah, there's so many scientifically wrong things. They just throw so much shit at you. It's like this word salad of just and science terms, technobabble, so fast in the most boring way possible. Everybody whispers everything. Oh my god, I'm Michael Burnham, and I need to whisper everything. Everything's so dramatic, and I love you so much, Ash Tyler. Oh yeah, and she's back together with Ash Tyler again, and they have these little I love you moments, and they're acting like they've never ever kissed anybody ever in their life. You know, they act like two people who are two aliens wearing human skin, who are trying to imitate how two humans kiss. And I know they're both playing aliens. You're not that alien. She's even playing a human who was just raised by aliens, and he's playing a human that has all the memories and that had the Klingon personality grafted into him or something. So you guys would know how to kiss. It is just so, it's one of the most confusing things in this episode. And it makes my brain hurt. I had a headache all day after watching this episode. The Red Angel finally comes. So the Red Angel finally comes. And it is not Michael Burnham, surprise, surprise. It's her mother. And yes, her parents were killed by Klingon spies who were trying to take the Section 31 technology, and, you know, the universe revolves around Michael Burnham because Michael Burnham's mother appears at every point in time and is rewriting history, and the entire universe would be wiped out of existence if Michael Burnham dies. And, you know, I think it's a good trade. I really do. You know, for Michael Burnham to not exist, everything, yeah, I mean, I think it'd be a good trade. It'd be a good trade. You know, sure, we would lose, you know, In-N-Out Burger and, yeah, all the good things, but, you know, we'd also lose all the bad things, like Michael Burnham. Most importantly, we'd lose Michael Burnham. Whoa, this was a bad episode. It was hilariously bad in so many ways, and the acting was all over the place. There were little side plots. There's so much that they packed in this episode where nothing happened. Just Saru sang, which was interesting. It was weird, but it was interesting. It's like watching a show that just doesn't... It's like watching a show in a foreign language. Or watching a show having, like, going in like, the middle of season 3, like, episode 7, and not knowing any character, what's going on, what the show's about, not being in your genre, not being in your wheelhouse. And that's what this show really reminds me of. And this is Star Trek. And I don't know how much you guys can see behind me because my guitars are covering it, but I have all of the Star Trek. Like, all of it, except for Enterprise. Just because I didn't get around to buying it at this point. I should know this. This should be familiar. This should be in my wheelhouse. I should be looking forward to watching this every week, and I'm just not. So tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Like I said, I have to give it a 10 out of 10 for the death scene and a 0 out of 10 for everything else because it's just so cringe and ridiculous. Oh, also, I totally forgot. Leland gets stabbed in the eye or something, and I think they're setting up the Borg. Because why not? Why wouldn't they be setting up the Borg? But yeah. And you can send your angry letters or unwanted Star Trek stuff or whatever, you know. Mecha 42, PO Box 1566, Loveland, Colorado 80539. I will link my entire live reaction and the Midnight's Edge After Dark Trek logs if you want to watch it in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next video or live stream. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!